Hey, party time. Look at Philly Phil.
Can't wait to see you.
I want to kiss you on the cheek.
I'm here.
Next weekend.
Oh, I'm so not ready for this.
I'm putting it
Dude.
right there.
KPR ready.
5K PR.
What's up with all these Ks?
Yeah, you
What's
just PR'd your
going on?
5K. Like, literally just PR'd your 5K.
Well, yeah,
right?
but I've never ran a 5K before. I mean, I ran one like 5 years ago, so I think I could get good at it. I want to do one every week.
It didn't hurt too bad.
Dude, it doesn't hurt at all, which is so weird. I'm so used to being in so much pain after races. Man, 5Ks are great. I felt completely fine afterwards.
How'd you like those shoes?
Probably I would say the most stable running shoes I've ever put on my feet for like speed, just kind of speed runs, you know.
Is it plated? What was it again? Adidas what?
Boston 13.
Say add it to the shoe list, Ryan.
Got like little finger plates looking things for your metatarsals. Thought that was cool.
Yeah.
What's that shoe that you guys all wear on the trail? I mean, me and Phil don't, but
The Adidas?
man, I might be able to pull that off because it's big in the forefoot, and then it's got like a, what do they call the Varus wedge or whatever?
Yeah. Adidas is where it's at, especially on a runnable trail. It's got a big forefoot. And it kind of narrows in the center, but
The Agravic Ultra Pro, I think is what you're talking about. Agravic Ultra.
Dude, I'm fixing to wear some low profile ultras for this entire backyard.
yeah, I wore that last
That's
year.
exciting.
No, I wore the Adidas last year.
Ultras for life, bro. I've switched.
So I have a confession. A couple days ago, I ran in a pair of Ultras for like the first time, and my ankle felt probably the best it's felt.
The zero
So I
drop,
don't
or
know.
did
It was
have?
the Outroad. It's been a while since I think all of us have talked. It's been since Arkansas, hasn't
Well,
it?
I'm not gay, everybody.
Yeah.
For those listening, I made sure to click the explicit button for this episode.
Bill, are you going to win next weekend?
Am I gonna win? Of course.
Doubt words there. So welcome to the Infinite Endurance Network name change. And we have the Backland preview for the 2025 edition of the race. And I just put together what I call group of Backland experts. I think between the four of us, we've done a lot out there. We've seen a lot out there. If y'all are ready just to dive into Backland stuff, we can, unless you want to share anything else.
Let's get into it.
Does no
Yeah, and hey, you're right. We did kind of. I mean, the second year of the Backland, I believe wholeheartedly that's when that trail was formed. Whenever we had all that rain and we just loop after loop, land after land, whatever you want to call it, that's where that trail will always be there from those footsteps that were put that day. That was
It was cemented that day. You're absolutely right, Rhino. I mean, that so much rain came down and so many loops were made by so many runners. Like, it etched a permanent trail in Gordonville. So, yeah, it's there for life.
Yeah, so the Backland Last Man Standing is a Texas Outlaw original race. It's one of their like OG races now. You know, they have like 40 some odd races. But it started in 2021. And I'm kind of just going to go year by year here.
Yeah. Hey, the first year, and I think this happens a lot, but the first year went 50 miles, 12 hours.
Yeah, I got year 1, 15 entrants. Chad Sallier won in 11 lands, so it's 49.5 miles officially.
So then year 2, game time.
That was the year I met Will and Ryan.
That's the year we all met Will.
Oh yeah.
Billy.
Yep. We were scheming.
Talk about etched in history.
We were picking y'all apart.
Which in real life are you William, Will, or Billy? Because you were Billy that day.
I'm William, but in the running world, I'm Billy.
William.
You have an alter
Big
ego.
boy pants
You
on.
got to. I'm a Gemini, man. We gotta have that dual personality. Dude, me and Philip, I think we talked about this before. Me and Philip, like, that's how we met. We before the Backland, and then we started picking people off and like looking at all their stuff, and we're like, oh, look at this guy. Well, look at this guy. And we were like, was getting super paranoid. I didn't realize who I was actually
That we
meeting.
met.
Philip Sebastiani is like the tech guy. Like you were. Now I see. Now it's been 4 or 5 years. Now I know that you do dig into all the stuff. Now you got me doing it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you, Will, but I think I saw your name on the entrance list, and I was like, okay, I think this guy will go pretty far. And then I saw your Strava, and then I saw like there was 1 week, I couldn't remember if it was a week before or 2 weeks before the race. You had ran like 90 miles, and I was close to 90, so I went out and did an extra run just so I ran as much as you did. I don't think I've ever told you that story.
I don't think so either. I get it. You just want to mess with people.
I think that year everybody was rooting for you that year, Billy, and it was just the energy that you brought to the arena that day. Everybody just
The best day ever. In
the best day ever.
The cigar.
I gotta get away
And
from that.
steaks. Maybe you should bring back the cigar and steaks.
Well, yeah, me and Paul.
Wasn't that what Paul was?
Paul's
cooking?
coming. Paul's about to get down.
I wouldn't be the backyard with
Tequila at mile 100.
it would not be a backland without Paul.
Yeah, his wife's not too excited about him going. He's like, babe, I got to. So I have no choice.
So year 2, 27 people were signed up. A tie again. This time Chad Sallier and Nick Peterson went 23 lands, and they ran 103.5 miles. So they're the first ones to ever get the buckle. Because I think the buckle started that year, if I'm not mistaken.
The 100 and the 150, silver and the gold.
Yeah. And that is the year Ryan Hill mentioned earlier. It is the rain year. That's what I call it, the rain year, because what was it? 16 hours, 17 hours of rain?
Yeah,
feel like it
just
never stopped.
nonstop. It was nonstop rain for at least that. Yeah.
Now we showed
Was it-
up. Y'all probably don't know this story, but we actually showed up with our 12 by 12 canopy that we were going to share with 3 people, and we pulled it out of the encasing, and there was no roof. So
What?
Briston, yeah. So we just had the frame, and Briston said, "Hey, I've got an extra one over here, guys." And so we shoved everything, but his was an 8 by 8, I believe, and we shoved everything underneath that. And I actually. Like, we didn't have enough with the kids and the family and everybody that was there. We didn't have enough room underneath the canopy. So, like, some of the runners just had to sit their chair, even in between the loops, just outside in the rain. And we didn't have enough stuff. We didn't have room for all of our gear. But that was a rough year.
I don't remember that. There are really only maybe 3 things I vividly remember from the rain year. And it was, 1, I was a hermit because I didn't want to be in the rain any longer than I wanted to. So I went inside my tent every single 10 minutes in between or whatever. 2, I couldn't breathe after land like 12 or 13. My ability to breathe my asthma got really bad. And then the last one was just the sound of sloshing and mud. And I just can't ever get that out of my head. It's PTSD for sure. Because
Sorry, I'm not prepared for this interview, but I am excited to be part of the show tonight. I think everybody was really, really, really well. I think everybody was over prepared the rain year. I think we all thought we were just the best runners ever. We were all like so hungry, and now we just don't really care as much as we did. I think now we just go to hang out. We all know Nick Peterson's
we
the
gained
it's
enough
all
best
about.
experience.
for life.
Yeah. Can we talk about Nick Peterson? I mean,
Yeah, go and get your rinky dink 25 hours when he just did 65 hours.
Yeah, really cool guy.
I was just saying, everybody that's ever met Nick Peterson has the same impression of him. You'll never hear anybody say anything but just how he impacted everyone's lives positively. He always has a smile on his face. That guy, I've not been able to share that much time on the trail with him, but the little bit of time that I got to share with him, he's definitely one of those people that loves every minute of it. He's a pretty cool guy. He's and obviously, whenever 65 hours, that's just another reason why you gotta love him.
That's what's like. That dude is something that I want It's like he's just so happy and cheerful. And maybe it's a fake thing, I don't know, but I've heard that some of y'all have ran with him and he's just a happy guy. And so 3 days into a run, I don't think I'm going to be smiling. I don't think I'm going to be happy at all.
I bet you he was smiling the whole time.
Oh yeah. I saw some stories of people who were there, and yeah, just super happy guy. And he told me that I think it was around mile 140, he had this hip thing flare up, and so he kept going for essentially another 100 miles on it. So he really
Long
left it all
time.
out there. Anything else about the rain year before we move on?
Well, okay, I do want to bring up something. I think that time in December, really weird things happen with the weather. And I don't care how prepared you are for a backyard. You ran 1,000 miles at 13-minute miles or whatever. You did all the things. You got your tent and your socks and whatever. But the weather is going to get you more than anything, no matter what it is. Like, it'll be dewy, like humid and like cool and like freezing, or it'll be raining. It's always going to suck. And you just don't prepare for that part. Like that's what I've seen more people drop out at, was weather related. Their hands are too cold, body's locking up, they can't eat because they're freezing or whatever.
I'm just gonna say, Billy, I think that the people that drop because of that are gonna drop anyways. You know, there's you've got your guys that are just gonna make an excuse. You know, at the end of the day, I've done probably 8 years, I don't know, 7, 8 years worth of backlands. I can't even count, not this backlands, but a last man standing type deal. It's like you said, you go in thinking you're the best athlete ever. You think you're gonna go minimum like 24 hours, gonna be a walk in the park. That's when the race starts, is after 24 hours. And just your brain tells you all of these reasons why you should stop. It's not that cold. It's not that rainy. The mud's no big deal. Nothing's really a big deal. It's the slowest pace you're ever going to run. There's not a single person that's there that's going to go out and run a 13-minute mile. Let's be real. At the end of the day, it's something in their head or anybody's head that says like, hey, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. Whether I want to go to sleep, I want to have a beer, I want to have whatever the case is, somebody's going to make an excuse, and in their head, they're going to justify it in a moment. And then 20 minutes later, they're going to regret every second of it because, like I said, nobody's going out doing training runs at 13-minute miles. It's a weak or a low point that people have during this race that they just got to get over. They got to take that completely out of their mindset, and they got to go to work because that's what you're doing. And this is either it's important to you or it's not. And if it's important to you, go get it done. If it's not important to you, then yeah, go put your feet up and cheer somebody else on. But there's always going to be a reason. Oh, my headlamp's not bright enough. Oh, I don't have enough music, whatever. But you got to go to work. It's, you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you, this weekend, I'm going to remind some people of that. You got to go to work. You got to get it done. So you don't have to go fast. You just got to get it done. And you got to not quit on yourself.
Amazing. Oh, Hill, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's I think year after year of the Backland, there's veterans now. Where first year entrants, I think Nick Stowers was there, RJ was there, and David Rivas was there. All those guys got their distance PRs that day. Well, that was 4 years ago. They showed up year after year and got their distance PRs and tapped out somewhere usually around there. Well, this is the 4th or 5th year into it, and now there's multiple people with 100-mile distance PRs. I was going through the entrance list a little bit, and there's at least 5 to 7 people that have gone 100 miles or more that are on the entrance list. And now there's easily 25 more people on the entrance list than any year before. So I'm hoping the weather is a huge factor because it can be so tricky and it can just be, monotonous. It can be cold and you just have that layer of cold on you at all times, and it can get monotonous. But ultimately, I think it's about what everybody's goal is. And in most amateur backyards, such as the Backlands, it's about distance PRs. So I think the big goal is who's ready to go for that gold buckle, which is 150 miles or however many hours that is. Who is Who has done 100 miles? Who's checked that off already? Who is ready to go further than that and set a statement for the Backland? I think there's a good 4 to 5 people who are ready to do that. So
Awesome.
we'll see what happens.
Let's bridge the gap a little bit to this year and talk about years 3 and 4. So year 3, there were 32 entrants, and that was when kind of the race first met its cap that Briston had for 2 years and then took away. But in year 3, there was a cap of 2, and then he was going to add a runner each year. So 32 in year 3, it was a tie, Ryan Roberts and Jessica Bryant. They both went 18 lands, 81 miles. Ryan, just want to give a little brief kind of summary about that year, what you can remember.
Yeah, and some of that's fuzzy, kind of how it played out. Again, that was a year where I hit a couple of low points, and I didn't plan on stopping in the I didn't plan on not starting a loop, and that was my only goal, because it was just I was going to start every loop, and if I got in 1 second before, or if I got in 15 minutes before, I was not going to let myself kind of make a reason why I couldn't start another loop. And early in the race, I was having a little bit of a hard day, and I can't remember what I was struggling with at the time, but I think it's the same thing that everybody does. So you hit some highs and lows, but you just got to remember why you're really there. And Jessica had made a comment kind of like as a joke, said, "Hey, if it comes down to us, you just want to call it a tie." And this was probably like hour 10 or 11. I can't even remember. But I was like, yeah, if it's the two of us, definitely, because she's a friend of mine, and I would have been very happy with that, especially at that time of the day. And then just later as the time passed and we spent more time out there, and you see people drop and you get motivation from people dropping. Once it became a reality, then we definitely decided, okay, let's just work together. Everything worked out exactly kind of how it was supposed to, I guess. I had people need to know this. Every year I've had 2, maybe 3 points, not 1, 2, maybe 3 points during the race where I thought to myself, this is it. I can't go any further. You don't ever stop. You just remind yourself when it's time to line up, you line up.
When you hear that warning, you got to go. Wow, that's great. And I've been at the race every year except the first one in some capacity. And I remember that year I was there supporting my buddies, and they distance PR'd also. So kind of goes into that. And let's move on to year 4 now. Let's bring Will back in the conversation, because year 4, they went up to 33 entrants. A tie again. Ryan Roberts and William Kent, 24 lands. So broke the course record and shared the victory. I'm calling this the cooler year. Who wants to explain why I would call it the cooler year?
Ooh, I have no idea. Like cooler? Like it
Did it get
cold?
cold?
This green cooler that was passed around course.
The
I completely
cooler,
forgot.
So that's
yes.
why I call it the
Wait,
cooler year.
hold on. Who started the cooler? Was it?
We did.
I wasn't racing, so I don't know.
No, we started the cooler, and then somebody moved our cooler, and we're looking for it, and then all of a sudden it was at the start finish line.
Abe started moving the cooler as well. And then I think somebody else, 2 other people started moving it. I think at least 2, maybe 3 lands. So I think the cooler made it. Maybe 2 or 3. You just gotta, like,
Cooler.
for me, I like to play games, like, in my mind, like, with my watch, with the time, with the things out there. Like, I think we started moving a broken bike as well and started dragging that around. And, like, you gotta keep your mind busy. Like, if you just decide, "Oh, I'm just gonna go out there and just think about nothing and just run 48 hours," like, do stuff. Think of stuff. Think abstract. Have fun. Use up that time with, you know, just be weird. Go out there and, we're all in the dark running around in the woods. Let's have fun.
I don't want to open any wounds again, but this was also the first year of the Best Setup Award, or there's some actual name for it. And Will, you had an amazing setup. Describe to everyone what your setup was last
So
year.
I got a guy in my corner
I
that
guess
maybe most people don't have, and I call him the one man crew. That's my paw. And he stayed up all night setting up this huge, I don't even know, it was like a 10 by 20 shelter tent looking thing with a tent inside of it. And like we had clothing rack, like a full closet in there. We had a toilet, we had grills, we had like a giant banner from a sponsor of mine, a shoe store here in OKC. Just this huge banner, and like we had a lot of things we didn't get to set up. And there was like a chandelier. No, we didn't set up the chandelier. We had a fire pit in there. We had all kinds of stuff in it. I mean, it looked like a house. Like I could have lived in there for sure, no problem for 6 months and felt good. And we put a lot of time and effort into it. And these freaking guys, these High Plains Elite guys show up with a freaking pickle Christmas tree. There's an award for best shelter.
Pickle juice
A
Christmas tree.
side thing. Yeah. The award for best shelter or, win the race, one of the two. And these guys brought a pickle juice Christmas tree and won the award. Me and Paul are sour. We're coming back this year with a vengeance. I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah, I was very discouraged.
That was a really fun year for me too, on the spectator side of things, just because I all the characters that were there, I was thinking this is gonna go really, really long. But then it didn't. So can you talk about that conversation maybe you and Ryan had when we were like, okay, we're gonna stop here?
So I guess my crutch in racing, there's a lot of things that I probably would quit a race because of, but I think for me, I tend to have some people pleasing tendencies, and in my head I was like, man, everyone's getting tired, everybody's wanting to go home, like I got work and everyone else has work and everybody needs, like we've been out here a while, and I'm like literally talking myself, not necessarily like I couldn't run more. And I mean, I feel like I talked Ryan Roberts into tying it again this year.
there's not a morning I don't wake up where I think to myself, like, I mean, it's like every morning I wake up, I actually have it written on my wall. I wasn't going to say it, but like you could have made Billy cry and laying in the fetal position and just destroyed you that day. I just think about that opportunity that I had to just completely destroy you. And I didn't take it, but I do love you. I do love you.
Yeah, I think that, we had a conversation about a half mile from the finish line, and I said, man, you know what? Let me get that cash. You can get the trophy or whatever. We decided on that. And I was like, let's just go home, man. And he accepted pretty quickly, though, So I think we both had a lot in the tank. We've talked about this before. I will say that my feet hurt really, really bad, but that's still like my feet always hurt. I could have definitely. I think we could have dropped it.
I will say my feet felt really good at that exact moment.
Oh, you were feeling really good.
Everything felt really good.
Yeah, you were fresh.
One of my core memories from that race was hanging out with Ryan Hill. We don't have to talk about that though, in too much detail. But I think it was maybe like the early morning hours, Roberts, you were putting Coca-Cola and Hyperlight together in a bottle and you were just jacked up.
Yeah, can people make note of that? That is that's definitely something, if you have not done, that you should have at the back, or any ultra. Hyperlight and Coca-Cola is what's going to get you through anything.
It might be better than 200 calf. Who knows?
Maybe not.
I will say I've never really, until recently, introduced caffeine in on long runs, and I'm definitely going to try to utilize that more this year, because I'm kind of a old school guy here, just bed at 9, up at 5 regardless of what's going on usually. And so like right when 9 o'clock hit, I was already ready to quit the race. But
anything more from year 4?
Year 4.
Year 4 was, I would say that was the best year in a lot of ways. And it might have been because I got to share so much of the course with Billy, but year 4 was definitely one of my favorite of all. We had more competition there. We had people that had done, more than Billy or I, and Billy's done a lot more than I have. And, but we didn't really have anybody that had anything to prove, it seemed like, because, I don't think that, I think that Billy and I were both definitely prepared to go a lot further that day, but we were also prepared to share that victory even before we made that agreement on course. We had talked a lot months leading up to the race. We'd done a couple of training runs together. The friendship that I have with Billy, I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. Sometimes, especially whenever you're sleep deprived, just the thought of getting to share an experience with somebody is more important than doing anything on your own. So year 4 was special. It was a great time when there was a lot of really good runners there, but I do 100% believe that Billy and I showed up prepared to do a couple of days if we needed to. We just unfortunately didn't have that opportunity, and we were both in really good shape that year or last year, Billy, and it was we had some fun on
I
course.
love you, Daddy Rhino. Freaking love my boys. Love my boys. I can't wait to see y'all
Love you
next
too,
week.
bud.
And here's another thing. I think year 4, everyone accomplished a goal. So it was kind of like, no matter what happened, everyone accomplished something and went home happy. But also the time of year, no matter what year it was, it's always right in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We all got crap going on. Me personally, I got blackout days at work all the way till January. So it's like, I can't even take off Monday. So I was like thinking of that in my head. I'm still thinking about that this week coming up. I just got to like not show up. And so it's like, man, I don't know. It's just a weird time, and you really got to be committed to running to show up out in the woods and disappear from the family for a while.
All right, that wraps up year 4. So year 5, I'm going to spew off what's going to sound like a lot of information, but I think it's actually pretty cool if you're into the numbers like I am. So Texas All Running got rid of the add an entrant cap this year, and almost instantly entrants just skyrocketed. So now this year there are 53 people entered. One more person has signed up this week out of the cap of 60. And there are 16 people coming back who have run it in year 1 through 4. And this year there are runners from Oklahoma, Texas, Idaho, and Utah, which just shows there's a little more reach, I think, for the race, and people are interested in it coming from afar. Some of those returners, like some notable ones, I just wanted to kind of point out, and then we kind of just talk, I guess, about some of those people, maybe any impressions. So 16 people returning, and sorry, I pulled up like some of the people, like Nick Stowers is coming back, Thomas, Ryan Applewhite, David Rivas. Let's talk about David Rivas because that dude, no matter the year, I think he's always going to run like 8-minute pace.
Oh, David and I spent a little bit of time together on course a couple of different years, probably all 3. And it's one of the comments that he's made to me. He was like, he's like, hey, look, I know there's probably some chatter about me showing off or something. He said, but I'm not showing off. He was just, this is how I run. And it's important to me that I don't change how I run on a day that that it matters, because I mean, if this is my flow, it's just, he's like, I just don't really have a slower gear. I'm a big fan of his. I like a lot of things about him. I like his attitude. I like his kind of like where his mindset in a lot of ways, but unless he's training off Strava some and just cherry picking what he posts on Strava, I don't think this year is going to be his year. And I like the guy. I'll go run with him anytime if he were to ever invite me anywhere. He's just one of the most genuine, nicest, kindest people that you'll ever run across on the trail. He did a last man standing about a couple months ago. Didn't really have it was thrown together really quick, so the entrance list was really small. The guy that got second place actually left, not because he couldn't do another loop, but because his wife told him you only have this much time. And but he's talented, he's gifted, he's a good runner. But I'm looking at his training log, and I'm seeing putting in 25 miles a week, and that's not last man standing 200-mile quality runner. Can he? Will he? I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he won't. I'm just saying that whenever I look at people's training and I dive into that stuff like we all do, I don't see on paper what I believe to be a winner this year. And I would love to see him more than anything go the distance, but I'm gonna be honest about it. I think he's coming in underprepared from what I can see and what he's sharing on social media.
I really like that dude. I like that dude a lot, man. We had a lot of good conversations out there, but that dude, he's got that, that Renard syndrome or whatever. And there we go again, the weather. That's what gets him every time. If he can make it till the next day, and I think he might go 100 miles this year. That would be cool to see, because I think we're all rooting for him, just to accomplish his own goals, just because he is such a nice guy, fun to be around. But his hands just freeze up and he can't do anything, and he has to just go home. I mean, it's not because he can't run anymore. So I bet he hits 100 this year.
I hope so.
You're going to say something?
I bet he goes at it a lot slower than the years past too, because the backyard that he did a few months ago, like Rhino was mentioning, he was running at 9:30, 10-minute pace, which is substantially slower than he's done the Backland in the previous years. Because I, like Phil was saying, I think he was running 8-minute, 8:15, 8:30 pace for the majority of those loops at the previous years. So I'm interested to see how slow he goes out and how serious he is. Yeah, his run volume has looked pretty low, but I was impressed in how he looked towards the end of that backyard that he did a few months ago. So we'll see.
Yeah, he looked fine at the end of that. And he made a comment to me, which, I mean, this is something that you wouldn't put on Strava. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. But he told me that he goes, I feel like I could walk for 4 days without stopping. So do you say that if you haven't done maybe some longer walks or something? Has he gone out there and done something? But he did make a comment about, hey, this type of deal where the endurance kind of kicks in, whether it's like a 15-minute walk or whatever with a little bit of running. Is he capable of it? I hope to see him go a long ways this year, but I don't know if he's keeping some of it private.
All right, let's talk about a few more returners here. Dominic Milhausen, he's going for his third Backland here. Dyron Hamlin, Mr. Hamlin, Asher's dad. Last year, he would do push-ups equivalent to the number of lands we were on. Do you guys remember that?
And the dude ran, I think, 100K in sandals.
That's right. Javelina 100
in Utah.
He ran 100K.
Okay.
He ran 100K distance at the Backland with sandals on as well. Didn't he? Didn't he have sandals on?
He's a G.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, he is an OG. I can't remember what his shoes he was wearing, but I do know that he has ran 100K in the sandals in Utah, and I just don't. I think he's somebody that could be sneaky, but I don't think that he's ever shown up with the mindset that he wants to win. I think he's come there to have a good time, hang out with his son, and be a part of something fun. I'd love to see what he'd really do if he laid it all out.
I do want to mention Wayne Patton, aka Lester, oldest entrant in the field, 69 years young, and doing the last man stand for his second year. Last year, he went 13.5 miles.
He's Texas Outlaw VIP, I think.
First
He's
ballot Hall
done
of Fame.
just about every Texas Outlaw race there is.
And in contrast to that, in the 20 to 29 age group, there are 19 entrants. So a majority of the field this year is going to be folks with less experience. A lot of people, this is their first race on Ultra sign up. So
That's pretty
we
typical
might see
with
some mistakes.
Texas. That's pretty typical with Texas Outlaw races in general. Reaches out to quite a few people who've just getting into the community or the running world,
You know what I think? I think you can.
trail
I
running
think you
world.
can credit the win, if you do win, to those people more than just you, because it's like you get to know all these people throughout their distances and cheer them on as you're running. Like, hey, you can go one more with me, and you get to meet all these people. Like, yeah, you couldn't win it without all those people. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm also
Totally agree.
glad that they opened the entrance list up to a few more people, because that was one thing that, unfortunately, with the smaller field, the people that it was selling out to was the people that knew about it, because it would sell out almost a year in advance. So you didn't really have anybody that would maybe stumble across something like this. So the fact that they've got spots open, the fact that people can still jump in if they want, like you said, we had somebody jump in the other day. It allows for maybe a few more people that have the ability to go past 24, 25 hours to get in this race. Because before, it was almost one of those things where it sells out so quick. If you didn't know about it or know somebody that's done it, you weren't getting in. You'd be on the entrance list for, the waiting list maybe. And, it's really tough to get into. So the fact that we can have other people kind of get in a little bit later that are finding out about it at this time, I think that it's just gonna grow the reputation of the race, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, well, we have to see next year 75 cap. It will sell out. Like this race sells out in February. Like people want to come do the backland. And now I know Briston has timing equipment, and I think that was one of the things that held me back in the past was that we're not going to bib tap for 100 people, right? Because it's fairly cumbersome. But really, really good points. I do believe this race will grow as well. A couple other returners: Larry Story, Michael Bolden, Cody White, High Plains Elite, Mason Sargent, High Plains Elite. Well, let's just go. Chris Mott, High Plains Elite, Thomas Serena, High Plains Elite. We got Josh Flashhill and also Danny Hendricks coming. So
Danny!
there'll be a
That's
lot
my
of
boy,
panhandle.
Danny. If y'all didn't know, that's my partner out there for this
Killer
this
be killed.
ultra. So me and him are we're gonna go the distance. That's my wingman.
So Phil, talk to us about your
Yes,
High
and then
Plains Elite. Who in that category is top tier? I'm a big fan of like Chris Mott. He's a strong runner. I'd like to see him go the distance this year. Thomas has been kind of doing some different stuff, really focused on hitting some PRs. I don't follow Mason, but I think that, he was his third year or second year?
yes, it'll be his third year running. Yeah,
I'm telling you right
So
now,
I like the fact
Danny Hendricks can eat. If he can get some food down, that dude right there, that's the top tier out of that group. Yeah,
that's the guy.
that's who I got my money on.
Yeah.
Danny Hendricks.
I think that sometimes you get a couple of years under your belt, though. Like we're talking about return people, they know what to expect. They know the highs and lows. I'd like to see what they bring.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah. So I expect all of them to distance PR for sure. I think everyone's training's been really consistent this year with our low grip. So those that don't know, the High Plains Elite ultra running team is based in the Panhandle of Texas, and kind of our mission is to bring forth ultra running and trail running in our area and show folks that high level of training can happen in our area. And this year, I'm most excited to, like you said, see Chris. Thomas has had a really good, consistent year too. Mason as well. Let's see. I'm excited for Blashill. He's trying to go the furthest he's ever gone.
Cody had some injuries, didn't he?
Cody. Yeah, in some shape or form, injuries happen in the sport, and some of them are also dealing with injuries. I don't want to out anyone really specific, but they're managing it as best as they can. And I think they're all showing up to the start line as healthy as they can be, which is like the best you could ask for. I know Cody Thomas also took Monday off.
Hey, let's go back to year 4 real quick. I think Thomas was I was his target. And so this year I wonder if I'm still his target.
I think he's expecting, I mean, we're gonna get there, right? But he's expecting like you, Megan Jackson, be going pretty far. He's putting stuff there, and last year he ran, I think it was 81.
Yeah, tell him. Well, if he's listening to this, I got a shot of tequila for him at mile 100. That never left. I'll have one on the table for him.
Yeah. Mason is renting out a pull behind trailer, so I think they're all really just committed to going there long. And we've already talked about our setup, Will, and you'll be surprised. No pickle juice Christmas tree this year, but you'll be surprised.
Man, I've been super tired, and Paul's been real tired, man. We'll see what we come up with, but we'll see if we can lug all that stuff out there, because I got to get off work and drive out that evening, and I'm not going to be able to really set up anything, but unless I get up really early and do it.
Yeah, Rhino, do you want to share? I know you're on this list, but you haven't. I don't know if you're going to be there this year. You're going to be there helping out crew and you're not running. Is that still?
Yeah, so I kind of went back and forth with it a bunch. And I had decided that I wanted to run no matter what. I've had kind of a like a rebuilding year. I had some injuries earlier in the year. And anyways, I decided I wanted to be there no matter what. But due to some things at work, I kind of decided that it's in long-term best interest for me to do. I have a company party that night. That's kind of a big deal. And it's in my best interest to go to that company party. So I will be there. And as soon as I leave the party, I do plan on going to the race, but
Gorge boys! Gorge boys!
Awesome. I'm going to remind us of some more data points, just fun facts about the race. So Rhino, you hold the lifetime land count total. So in the history of the race, you've spent the most miles out there. So you've done 52 lands. That's 234 miles. David Rivas is second. He's done 45 lands. So that's 202.5 miles. And Billy Kent, you're third with 43 lands total in your lifetime. And that is 193.5 miles.
Philip's the tech guy. He's got all the numbers. He's got all the statistics. Hopefully we can
I
do
was
all that at once
sharing
instead
them
of over a 3-year period.
Billy, you probably don't have a podium pick, or I mean, there's not really a podium in something like this, but you probably don't have a podium pick. It's just you being carried out on everyone's shoulders at the end of the race with the winning medal around your neck. But does everyone kind of have their picks for who's going to win this year?
Ooh.
Let's roll into it. Who we're excited about.
I think there's going to be a best or a last woman standing this year. That is just my opinion. There's 2 women on the list that looks like they might know a little bit about running.
They're legit.
Also been eyeballing those ladies. And is 2025 going to be the year in women's sports? I mean, are they going to? We've seen a lot of women do some great things this year, but Billy, I'm just gonna say you're going to win, but there's gonna be some women that are gonna push you pretty far this year. I also agree. I
got my favorites. Abe's coming back. I think he's going to do pretty good. And then we got somebody new, RJ, which he if everybody doesn't know, I didn't know until these guys told me a long time ago. This dude's he's ran like a half marathon every single day for like 5 years. Something like that.
Over 1,100 days, whatever that math translates.
That dude signed up. Whoa. What's his name?
It's RJ Baldwin.
We had some conversations about the race as well, and I think he'll do pretty well. Just because of the consistency. You know what I mean? He's never ran, I don't think, an ultra per se, but running 13 miles every day, I don't care what your lifestyle's like for that long.
Here's my side note on RJ.
Oh, I'll go after you. I got something.
Yeah, he definitely has the training to make this race very, very interesting. However, he's also I believe he has the world record for the most on-day half marathons a day at over 1,100 consecutive days. At what point would this race be a big enough deal to him to where he would sacrifice his half marathon a day streak? So I think that's going to be a big thing. And whenever, we talked about earlier with people having little things that creep into their mind, RJ is probably capable of pushing everyone to their limits, but is he willing to push himself to the limit to where he could break his streak? That I don't know. But
So
I'm a huge fan of RJ.
I would argue against that. There's other things you need to consider in the backyard, like has he been on his feet for 10 hours, 20 hours at a time? Anyone can run a half marathon a day and do it the next day and recover. There's that. There's the nutrition side. There's has he practiced running at night more? There's a lot more factors in the sleep deprivation. I think there's other things
side for sure. That's the huge question. Like, he's never dabbling into the nutrition side of things.
You don't need it, yeah. But
you can fasted for half marathon, no problem, and still turn out.
Almost everybody that's a consistent runner doesn't need anything for a half marathon. You're talking about an hour and a half to 2 hours tops. But I have seen RJ over the years drop from a 2 hour half marathon guy to a 1:23 half marathon guy.
Okay.
I mean, he's become a serious athlete, and with a backyard setting where you can have everything that you need, and you know exactly where the race starts and stops. I think that you could plan for all of your nutrition, whether he eats pizza or chicken sandwiches or donuts. You don't have to have a bottle of carbs in it like you do on a traditional style ultra. Some boxes of pizza and a couple boxes of donuts and a 2-liter of Coca-Cola. And that may not be his thing, but I mean, you could just set it on a table. It's there for you every 45 minutes.
Okay. And we didn't mention those women's names, but Megan Jackson and Anna Haley. I've met both of them personally. They are pretty stout women, really strong women. I met Anna Haley at the Fat Ox for our U.S. Championship last November, and she's also done her fair share of ultras. And Megan, even though she's fairly new to like ultra running, she's had a lot of success in this short period of time.
Yeah,
so.
they both.
Speaking of predictions,
they both run through the night. You know what I mean? They've both gone to the next day. So that's all you got to do in this to beat the course record. It's just make it to morning.
All right. So I was talking with Hill about this earlier, and I thought it might be fun just to also predict how long the race will go. Like, how many lands do you think it will take to win this year? We talked about weather. It's going to rain Thursday night out there. Saturday, the high is 55. Sunday, the high is 58. And then it kind of just stays around there Monday, but sunny skies. So
let's go right on the dot. What mile it's going to be? Let's all bet money. Let's put a wager on it.
Whose money we betting?
I mean, not mine.
So my number is 38.
Ooh. I'm going 36 because the year that I ran the backland, that's what I thought it would take to win. But the rain obviously thwarted that. I think the weather
30
will be really good this year. 36 lands. So the math for that.
About 165?
162.
1
and
o'clock
Gold Buckle is
Sunday.
150.
1
You gotta
o'clock
give us
Sunday.
hours, Hill. What is that? What does that even
What is
mean?
that? That's 32 hours, somewhere around there. That's what I think.
So 32 is 144 miles. The Buckle is 150.
So no, 33 hours or 30 34 hours for the
It's
buckle.
technically 34 to get
Yeah,
the buckle.
it goes to the gold buckle.
Yeah, I agree with Hill. It's gonna go.
First the 33 hours. You think the gold
But
buckle is
to
going to
get there, Bill, you need somebody that to take you there. Who is going to be there with you? Is it going to be Megan Jackson and Anna Haley,
Well, here's the deal.
or is it going
This
to
is
be
the
another
first
male?
year
Is it going to be
I've ever
Thomas?
came with no really training and stuff. I haven't really like put in a lot of miles in the past couple of months. So this is really the lowest mileage I've ever put in. Like 30 to 40 miles a week is like, I don't know. That can either go one of two ways. Or maybe all this extra rest is gonna, be beneficial out there, or maybe I'll just crumple, 100K in.
Maybe you'll just 5K PR.
I just 5K PR out there. Maybe the first lap I'm gonna try to PR. I don't know who's gonna be down there in the end. I know
I think the biggest
Thomas will be
enemy.
there. I know Abe will if he's working through his injuries. I know y'all said he had an injury recently, something messing with him. I don't know. I think that who's Anna Haley. I don't really know who that is, but I think it'll be her, Thomas, and Abe, and Danny Hendrick.
I think
I
you're
don't
going to
know.
have, how many total people are signed up? 53 minus me, 52.
52.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I think you're going to have approximately 15 people go 86 miles. I feel like this is going to be the most competitive course, I think, a year. I think you're going to see some people really, really show up. I don't think it's going to thin out early. I think, I do think Billy's going to win it all. And, but I do think second place will be a female. And then I see Nick Stowers in the top. I
Oh, I
see
forgot about Nick. Yeah, you're right about Nick. Nick was right there with us, just chilling. He didn't even look tired. I guess he really was, but it's just he seemed pretty fresh.
Fun fact, Anna Haley's run 12:11 at Bandera. Megan Jackson's run 19 hours at Rocky Raccoon.
It's pretty stout.
Yeah, so there's their real
I'm watching
ultra
Backyard Ultras right now on YouTube,
runners.
and I'm just looking at them. And what thing about a lot of those is like it's like a long straight line, and everybody's tents can be lined up along the side. But what's different about Backland is like it's just a big cluster of tents, and it's going to be hard to like get to the start line and go to your tent each time. Now that it's double the field, and it's not a very big area to set up, so if you don't get there early enough, you're going to be 12 tents down and like trying to weave through every time. And I think that's going to mess with people over time as well. And another thing, I got the crutch. I got the homies. I got all the homies, man. I mean, I hang out with you guys all the time. We go do races all the time. That's not fair for a lot of people. They might just have their one or two, and I got the whole gang, man. We're gonna be out there just bullshitting for 24 hours for the first bit, and then the race starts. Like Rhino said, best day ever.
He's gonna be there with you, right, Philip, doing the live stream.
Yeah, so the Infinite Endurance Network will be live streaming the race
Nadine's coming.
this year.
Yeah,
Nadine
she's
Forrest
not.
Oh yes, she is.
is going to be my co-host. She's doing me a solid. She's very knowledgeable about all of this, and she's really helped me understand the platform and how to make it all feasible. But I am accepting donations if anyone wants me to stake off a part for their tent, because I will be there Thursday night.
Wow. Dude,
So if you want to donate to the
Philip,
cause,
I gotta
I'll
say,
save you a
Philip
spot.
and Nadine are both like the tech ultra runners. Like they just like know all the numbers and the gear and all the stuff. Y'all would be the perfect people to host. This is great.
Great.
Yes, we're
Nadine,
excited to live stream
press.
it. I need to work on my announcer voice.
Wait,
though.
I
need
can
to
pay
be
you to set
exciting.
up my stuff.
Mm.
Are we allowed to do that?
We'll have to talk about that off the air. I don't know. There's not a rule
Hey,
against
at least
it,
mark
but
you off an area. Throw up a table there for you and a tent,
throw
and
up
then
a
you can
table.
replace it with your
I
stuff.
want to be right next to the High Plains tent.
We're going to be right next to the start finish. So
I'll just go across the street like I did last time.
yeah, you're like all by yourself on that side. I think maybe Abe was there last
me
year with you.
and and then everyone else is on the other side.
Yeah, I think this year they should have people on both sides to really just make it like a like a line like that. Because you also have to consider in the backland being 4.5 miles, you lose about 3 to 4 minutes each hour because it's longer.
More than that.
Well, if you're going like 12-minute pace, so like 4 minutes then, 5 minutes then, yeah. So it's substantial.
Makes
I
a
remember
big
the year
difference.
I did it, I came in one time at 57 minutes and I was like, that's over. Like, what am I gonna like?
Half a mile is half a mile, and I'm
It's
like,
over.
I don't care if it's point whatever. It's about a half a mile. That's more running. So it is harder than a regular
Yep,
format.
it's
It
that
is not
field.
the 4.1. So 6.7. I get it. I know.
You got to run about 50 seconds a mile faster if you were doing it just for cutoff. That's a pretty big difference. 50 seconds per mile. That's the difference in being able to power walk something and having to shuffle if you're hurting.
And I think that's the demise of a lot of folks, especially if you're new to ultra running and you sign up for this race. And we talked about how Texas Outlaw Running tends to get a lot of folks who are new to the sport, and something like that can be discouraging when you're like, oh, the time has really gone by. Anything else you guys want to add to this preview show before
I
we wrap it
freaking
up?
love y'all. I love y'all. I can't wait to see you next week. And be aware, this year I'm going to be doing a lot of weird, spooky, tricky things out on the course. So if anybody's listening to this, it's not just going to be running this year. There's going to be some interesting. I'm trying to play out some ideas to keep my mind busy.
Anything
Wow.
else?
Oh, I'm just excited to see everybody. I do hope that since I'm not running this year, I get an opportunity to spend some more time with everyone out there and kind of get to know a few people that I haven't got to meet over the previous years, and maybe even make a few friends that that I haven't met in the past. So it was the whole thing. I'm really pumped about it, and I can't wait. I wish I was there right now, but obviously, we got a week, so I'm just really looking forward to getting out there with everyone.
Your last words, Hill.
I'm excited to see it go down. It's grown each year. It's gone further and further each year. No ties. Screw the
No
ties.
ties.
They gotta put a stop to that. I'm excited. Yeah, man, the backland is just notorious now. It's just a big celebration. Everybody getting together, running for a couple days, hanging out, having a good time, getting to know each other, and that's the real exciting thing about these backyards. It's just a different format, so that's cool. And I'm also excited for the live stream, and the reels that you did last weekend for the Big Texas Ultra. That was cool. So that just makes everything exciting and gets people who aren't aware of the sport or this type of running, or it grabs those people's attention and gets them involved as well, and that's pretty cool.
Yes, it is going to be such a delight to be there at Walnut Creek Resort in Gordonville, Lake Texoma. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Infinite Endurance Network. Please share, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's where all the action is going to be for the backland.
I love y'all.